Appreciate Dr. Ritchie's invitation just to come and address the board and just answer questions about MVCTC, our partnership, the satellite program that we have in place, and just any other general questions that come up. So what I'm going to pass around for you first, and there's probably going to be a few extras, is our what we call our career planning guide. This one's got all the information about the 43 different career tech programs that we have. It's kind of a cheat sheet on the back that outlines the different programs. They're all color-coded. So I'll kind of hand this out to you. I do not take any offense whatsoever if you're reading it while I'm talking. My wife tells me I get boring, so I'm not going to take any offense to that. And then the other paper that I have is kind of our district overview, just so you understand a little bit about MVCTC. I know sometimes it's one of those programs that you hear about. You know, some of the kids go down to the Career Center, and what do they do? So it's always nice to come back, because I worked here as an assistant principal for a while and always had the same kind of thoughts of what they were doing down at the Career Center. But knew the kids were very successful and wanted to make sure that they had a chance to basically, have job skills, work in different career tech programs, and just be exposed to those career opportunities as early as we can. So you can look through that document. You can see that MVCTC has 27 different partner districts that we work with. We also have open enrollment, so only after our programs are filled by our partner districts, then it's opened up to outside entities. So typically, with that being said, we'll have about 51 different schools represented on campus at any time. They range all the way from up in St. Henry, we have students, down to Middletown and over to Springfield. So we have a very wide range of area of students that come to our campus depending on what programs they're looking for. But again, the question you might get is, will my child get in? Did someone get in before them? That's not if it's an open enrollment student. They do not get that opportunity until all those programs we're looking at what vacancies that we have. So, like example issue, we have 69 students that have applied so far from Milton-Union for this next class that will be starting in August. Currently right now we have 40 juniors and about 36 seniors on campus. Then we have our satellite programs that are here as well. So we've got the programs that we have, the agricultural programs, that one is 7 through 12. Business Academy is 9 through 12. We have computer science that's 8 through 12, and then we have STEM that's 7 through 12. So we have 4 different programs that's in place here in the building with those teachers that are MVCTC employees, but they're providing the career tech planning and coursework that goes with that and those opportunities. A lot of what we tied into is the credentials, and you'll be able to flip through and see some of the credentials in the district overview document that we have, and more specific information in the career planning guide on those programs that we offer. We've had a lot of success with Milton students. You send us top-notch students. We try to take them and move them as far down the track as we can. I just picked 3 random ones that we have. We've got Tucker Gibson right now is in a program that we have for computer coding, and he's doing what's called NASA Hunch. So NASA every year will put out 3 problems to schools across the nation, and these kids have to actually solve the problems. And it's not simple problems. These are actually designing code and doing AI simulations to actually interact with space station or equipment or the gravitational features. So they're programming software then that NASA will evaluate. Another team that we had this year is doing AI assistance for astronauts. So in their helmets, they can have AI programming that's talking to them and answering questions in real time that's specific to those individual people, and they write all the programming for that. NASA then has the opportunity to go through and look at all those different projects. We've done this for 8 years, and we've had 8 times we've made the finals and go to Houston to compete. So again, we have 2 teams that are qualifying this year. The top team goes. So that's pretty impressive. There's no one in the nation that we know of has had that many teams going into there. So that's been pretty impressive. We've also had our BPA, Business Professionals of America. We've had that one that's just happened, Still USA. Michaela Carmack was second there, state qualifier for life support. And then we had Isaiah Zellers, who's second place for doing server administration, which is like Cisco kind of thing, cybersecurity, computer network engineering. So just 3 of the kids I looked up today from Milton-Union and what they've been out there doing. So we really push them hard. They're doing a lot of things that are real world. They're getting a lot of the high-end certifications. They're getting a lot of college credits, and they have the ability then to move on either into the workforce or they can go on to college. So our goal is to always make sure that we've got those things in place. on the main campus, we continue to expand and try to offer more opportunities. So this year and at the end of last year and into this year, we expanded our early childhood program. We do a lot with workforce development in the region. We know that one of the main reasons we do not have some of the mothers coming to the workforce is because there's not affordable and plentiful childcare right now. So we've been working to expand our opportunities to train the licensed childcare workers, expanded our auto technology program, and then our pre-nursing program. So those are the three that we've been working on. We also add satellite program from year to year. This is one of our lowest years. We're only adding 2 programs this year. We have one down at Carlisle local schools. If you know where Carlisle is, way in the south of town. That's one of our districts down there. And then also Bethel, so just down 571 that way. So we've got a couple there. Sometimes people ask our top 5 or 6 programs. So right now, pre-nursing, cosmetology, electrical trades, dental assisting, vet science, and welding are our top 6 programs that we have coming through as far as requested applications. So I don't want to keep it too long, but I want to answer any questions you have. I gave you a lot of material here. As I took my advice, I got boring, so you're looking through it. So hopefully you found a few questions maybe, or something that I can answer for you. Anything that comes to you from those that have children down at MVCTC, or questions just from the community in general?
Last year there were some programs that were really competitive and like students didn't get in. Do you foresee that this year happening again?
I do. Those the top programs that I listed right there are already oversubscribed, and we're waiting through the students will get letters that will come out March 26th. Typically. So our junior class right now, I think we are running about 1,650 applications for about 1,250 spots. Yeah, already. And keep in mind we had a waiting list of about 400 or 500 kids before we had the new building. We ended up adding another 500 kids space-wise, and now we have another list that's building towards 500 again. People are really understanding the cost-effectiveness of career tech education, getting the college credits, and then moving into the workforce. We've really seen a shift of parents really moving kids away from everybody's going to a 4-year school. They're looking at the Sinclairs of the world, the Edisons of the world, the career centers, getting those credentials and moving on. So both of my kids came through and got their credentials right off the bat, got jobs with those credentials, and then went to college. So it's worked out very, very well, and they both are going to come out debt-free from college because they've earned their way through it. So.
Do all the classes qualify as CCP, or do they only certain ones?
There's 2 different kinds of credit that we can give. Essentially, it's a career tech-based credit. So, for example, my son was in cybersecurity and computer network engineering. So he went through and had basically courses that would transfer directly to Sinclair's cybersecurity and network engineering program. But then he could also take academic programs as well. So then he was taking English and math and the regular gen eds, as you call them, for the college path that way. So he had 2 opportunities. For him, it cut a year off of his engineering degree that he's working on. My daughter came through in pre-nursing, and it cut almost 3 years off of college for her because she had 100 credits when she graduated. So, yeah, there's a lot of good avenues. And again, those are free credits because they're CCP. We know it's not free because the schools pay for it, but to the parents, it's free. So, a lot of great opportunities. Last year, I think we had almost 9,000 semester hours earned on campus for free. So a lot of CCP that happens. Good questions. What else? Ice has been broken now. Literally.
Do you know what percentage you go off to in a 4-year? Or, I'm assuming it's graduating from Miami Valley, you have more of a certificate as opposed to like an associate's degree, or do you have a percentage that move off to higher education?
Yeah, we track it with post-secondary, so that could be sometimes they're going into a formal apprenticeship program or military. So we have about 74% that will do that path, and then the other 26% are basically saying that they're going right into the workforce. Some of those enter college after a year off, but that 74% are going right out through that pathway. A lot of those are getting college scholarships. I think last year we had just over $5 million of scholarships that were awarded. And we send more students to Sinclair than anybody in the state of Ohio does. So we've got a really strong pathway. Of course, they're cutting a year or 2 off their degree. Some of our programs, aviation maintenance, they're getting an associate degree as they graduate because all their courses are embedded with their career tech program, and are sitting for their FAA license to literally work on the airplanes we fly on at the Dayton Airport. So it's very important that they know what they're doing. The groups us all.
Back when I went to high school, that more, the career vocational was more considered for kids that did what they wanted to do. And it's nice to see that evolution of, you know, transferring to, not, it doesn't have to be higher education, but succeeding in multiple different pathways.
Yeah, absolutely. I think now it's more of a full spectrum opportunity. We still serve the students who are just, hey, I want to get into the workforce as fast as I can. They don't play school well, and they just want to work, and they want to learn those skills, get a certification, all the way to the ones that I'm going on to do a doctorate degree down the road. They can do that background, so it's out really well.
You mentioned that you guys work with NASA as far as the, I forget what class that was that NASA's a part of, but do you guys partner with any other companies in the area as far as training kids?
Vast majority. So I think we have over 550 some partnerships right now of the kids that go out. So we have a lot of students that will do apprenticeship training. Say they want to go out. Electrical trades right now is just a booming field. They have 4 or 5 job offers per student that we have right now. So they'll work with the Garber Electrics of the world or the Chapel Electric. They'll come to us for 2 weeks and we double up their classes, and then they go work full time for 2 weeks. So they're earning that money. It's a paid position. And then they come back and do all their graduation requirements because there's such a demand. And we have hundreds of students that are going out into a lot of professions that are doing that at this time. So they still get all their graduation requirements. They're still taking CCP classes, but they're also earning the money. It's great because, you know, if I'm out for 2 weeks and then Cheyenne's out for 2 weeks, you know, we alternate. So then that way the employer gets to look at 2 people, but they always have a full-time employee. And then at the end, they've got 2 long-term interviews essentially done, and they can decide what they want to do. Right now, they're just hiring everybody we can give them. It's just a wonderful market for these students to be coming out if they have a skill. Unreal.
I had a question. There's a lot of discussion about AI and its future impact on common careers. Are you guys trying to wrap your hands around what that means and maybe adjust how people are being trained and maybe what? I mean, there's a list of entry-level positions that could be eliminated basically from the job force. I know there's discussion even in my finance world about certain areas that could be replaced with AI. Is there any discussion of that at the higher level educational level?
Absolutely. There's tons of discussion, all the way from the students in the hunch that are actually programming AI. I mean, we're to the point now where we're building that next level AI with the kids. But back to the other pieces of, we review, like through our Workforce Investment Board, I'm part of the Dayton region, with 12 counties. We look at all the regional workforce demands, part of that early childhood expansion I mentioned. But within those discussions, when we look at the list, almost no skilled trades are listed on those lists. Because AI at this point is not doing all the welding, it's not doing all the electrical, it's things that people can do that the robots and the machines aren't going to be doing for a while. Now, with that being said, we still have full robotics and automation programs that are working through either manufacturing engineering, robotics and automation pieces, all kinds of different opportunities for those students too, because those things are going to be needed as well. But we are definitely sensitive to what does the future of workforce look like as AI starts to come online. It's a little concerning because kind of a bubble right now, and we're watching to see what it is. But the best way we can do it is to embrace it, make sure we know what it is. Don't be afraid of it, but make sure that we're prepared as much as we can. I don't think any district I've ever met so far has a complete grasp on AI. I think we're all working our way through it, trying to understand. And then when we don't know, we ask a 14-year-old and they explain it to us. So,
Yeah, I mean, I just think even those at the forefront that own the companies are still, some are concerned about the power of it and how quick it's moving. So that's why I asked.
No, that's a great question. I mean, I work with those folks, the owners of the company, the manufacturers, the IT, the healthcare, and they're all asking the same questions, and no one has that answer yet. But a lot of the things, there's things that can be automated. Medical billing, yeah, it can be automated. Hands-on nursing in an ICU, not so much. So I think they're trying to weigh out what it's going to look like. Almost like an ocean, we're going to see a wave come that's going to maybe hit that first round, and then it's going to hit the second round. I think AI is going to take time to develop, but it will impact jobs. There's no doubt about that, but I don't think it'll be any more different than what we've seen with like the internet. When the internet came in, everybody was all worried about this. Or when Google came online, everybody thought everybody's going to be cheating through Google. I mean, there's just been, it's another technological revolution that we just have to be ready for. Doesn't mean we're all going to get it right. We're going to have to wade through the challenges. But I find it fascinating. The things that I do now is just AI in my office. Unbelievable. It's cut down our legal bills because I can sit down and go through legal contracts and leases and CRAs and TIFs and all those things that come across my desk and have it give me a second opinion instead of calling that $400 an hour lawyer. So hopefully you're not a lawyer, sorry. Just saying. They're great questions. I guess if you don't have anything else, just know that we're always a partner. You're always welcome to come down, schedule a time. I'll let you know, we'll set up a time, have you come down, see the Milton kids in action. I think you'd be really impressed because we have them represented in most of our different programs that are down there, and they're doing a great job. So if not, Dr. Ritchie and I work through any problems that come up, as transportation or enrollment issues and things like that. I appreciate his leadership and being able to sit down and just talk through things. So it's good to have another fellow superintendent like that.
Dr. Weldy, thanks. Appreciate your time. I learn something new every time you're here, so we'll pencil you in for about this time next year too, just to keep us up to date.
It's on my way home to Covington.
There you go.
Works out right up 48, so it works out well. All right. You're welcome. All right. You guys have a great night.
See you, Dr. Weldy.
You got anything to add?
Appreciate it. I'm gonna.
Sir, Nick.
Oh,
Your phone.
Thank you. I wouldn't, right?
well,
With a lot of snow probably covering me.
Your car, too.
Yeah, thank you.
see you. Thank you.
Yep. See ya.
So, in keeping with the theme of letting the people with all the knowledge do the talking, Mrs. Hartley has a couple of things to share regarding the state report card and then also required math diagnostic assessments.
I'm going to talk a little bit about literacy and a little bit about math, two of my favorite things. Connect here. The first thing I want to talk about is going to be more brief, literacy. There was a change in law back in September that impacts one of the 6 report card components. It impacts the early literacy, which I'm going to project here in just a second. To give you a visual of what we're kind of talking about. And so our early literacy component is comprised of 3 pieces of information that inform that. And we did talk about this back in the fall, but I wanted just to kind of review. One of the components is our proficiency rate on the 3rd grade reading assessment. If you remember, students are able to take that once in the fall of their 3rd grade year and again in the spring of their 3rd grade year. And as long as they are proficient or higher on one of those assessments, then they count in that top measure. So proficiency in 3rd grade reading. The second component is promotion to 4th grade. This is the one that I'm going to come back to. But you can see that, you know, our percentage in our district was 100%. Again, I'll come back to that. And then the last component has to do with improving K-3 literacy. So this has to do with students in the fall of, for example, kindergarten are off track in reading. What percentage of those do we move to on track by the time the fall of their 1st grade year? So in other words, we're going fall to fall, and how many kids who are off track are we moving to on track? So these are pretty straightforward. The promotion to 4th grade essentially is what percentage of our kids were proficient on the 3rd grade tests, in addition to maybe an additional or an alternative assessment, so something like a Terra Nova or an iReady reading assessment, so other vendor assessments in reading. So if a child takes a different assessment, even if they weren't proficient on Ohio's test, if they're proficient on one of those assessments, they count. But one of the other ways that every district and elementary school across Ohio can promote students to 4th grade is by parent choice. So for example, if you have a child who takes the 3rd grade reading test in the fall and in the spring and doesn't reach that proficient level, under old law with 3rd grade guaranteed, we were supposed to retain them in 3rd grade. Well, that changed. Parents are allowed to basically say, we understand that our child is not reading on level, but we don't want them retained in 3rd grade. And so that child is promoted to 4th grade by parent choice. Well,
Katie, I'm just curious.
Yep.
When did parent choice begin? Like,
yeah. 3 or 4, if you're putting me on the spot. I want to
Sorry.
say 3, 4, maybe 5 years ago.
okay.
So I think right around the time of COVID. And probably that makes sense because that would have been before I got this job. So I would have been in middle school and it probably would have been a little bit fuzzier for me, but it's been a few years. So this 100% promotion to 4th grade is almost kind of like it's nice because it gives us that 100%, but it's kind of an inflated number. It's not really that we have 100% of our kids going to 4th grade who are reading on level. So the law that passed back in the fall essentially is going to take out that parent promotion. So what that means for our district is that instead of this 100% here on that promotion to 4th grade piece of the early literacy component, we'd be somewhere again back down around 65% of our students. Now this is going to be across the state of Ohio, so this is impacting every public school district and every elementary that has a 3rd grade. So why am I bringing it to your attention? 2 reasons. Number one, I kind of wanted you to be front-loaded, that if in next fall when we're looking at our early literacy component, you're saying, man, we were here in 2025, what's the drop here in 2026? Well, that's going to be part of the drop. The other reason that I bring it up is that there is current legislation, draft legislation, House Bill 455, that would essentially restore the parent promotion and would give districts credit for parents promoting their student to 4th grade. So that's why I'm bringing that to your attention for both of those reasons, so that you kind of know that legislation is pending, but also if that component is lower in the fall, it really won't be because of anything different with our kids and their test scores. It'll really just be a legal decision the state made to not include parent promotion. Questions about that piece? Kind of gets into the weeds a little bit, but I felt like it was important enough to bring to your attention. Dr. Ritchie, is there something you want to say about that?
Well, I just was thinking maybe it would be good, I'm going to pitch you a softball.
Okay.
So, well, what I hope is a softball. So, when we send a 3rd grader on to 4th grade who isn't reading at level, they're moving on to 4th grade in all those other subjects, but in reading, they still get tons of interventions.
Correct.
Could you say a word about that?
Sure. So at Milton, we call that time Bulldog Breakout. If you've had kids go through our elementary, that probably sounds familiar. Essentially, it's a 30 to 35 minute time period of every school day, 5 days a week, where every child known at grade level is getting targeted reading instruction. So what that means is if we have a 4th grader who is still working on early phonics skills because they just haven't mastered them yet, then that's what they're getting during that Bulldog Breakout time. Students who were not promoted are also legally put on what's called a Reading Improvement Monitoring Plan, or a RIMP, which is another kind of jargon term in our business. And essentially what that means is we are providing a reading intervention to that child during the school day. Legally, students, once they are put on a RIMP, after they don't meet the promotion score at the end of 3rd grade, they stay on a RIMP until they reach proficient or higher on an ELA assessment. So maybe a child's on a RIMP in 4th grade. At the end of 4th grade, they take the state test. They're still not to that proficient point. They stay on a RIMP. In 5th grade, we continue to provide that targeted intervention. If at the end of 5th grade they do score proficient or higher, then they are taken off of that RIMP. That moves up through the grade levels with them. This year, we have 6th graders who are on RIMPs. So this cohort that are currently 6th graders, that legal mandate is following them. So next year, we'll have any students who are on a RIMP in 6th grade this year who aren't proficient or higher on the 6th grade state test in the spring will stay on a RIMP. They'll be on a reading improvement plan next year as 7th graders all the way through high school eventually. So we are still intervening with them. We're still doing everything we can to provide the interventions that they need. We're just not retaining them and keeping them as a 3rd grader.
So this isn't doing away with parent promotion, it's just doing away with that
With getting credit for it.
percentage, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there have been some simulations of what that report card metric will look like. And so it's literally going from across the state from looking like a bell curve of the number of districts in each one of those categories, 5 stars, 4 stars, 3, 2, 1, to it's completely skewed towards 5s. So most of the state's going to have 1 star, 2 star ratings.
Correct.
Very few districts in the state will have 5 stars.
Correct. Yep.
But Mrs. Hartley, the executive summary, 30 seconds or less on the research regarding retention.
It is not typically effective. Most often when a child is retained, their likelihood of high school graduation drops by 25 to 30%. They experience all kinds of social, emotional, and mental health issues at higher rates than their peers who aren't retained. Yeah, again, super high level summary. For the most part, students who are retained do not end up being successful down the road. So,
Do private schools have the same grading system?
they do not. They do not. All right, so now I'm going to talk about math, unless there are any other literacy. Okay, so again, I'm going to try to be brief. Those of you who know me know that math is kind of where my heart is, so if you let me, I will talk at you about this for 30 minutes, but I won't. So last summer, the state put out Ohio's plan for K-12 math. You can access this online if you're curious. It's about 50 pages worth of information, kind of broken into 3 main chunks. The first portion is essentially the why, so some of the research and how what math scores have looked like across the state of Ohio over time. The middle section is kind of the what. So what is it that the state is proposing we do to improve math instruction K-12 across the state? And then at the end, it's kind of the how. And so they have, suggested activities. They have 5 different pillars. So each of the 5 pillars has suggested pieces that are done at the state level. There are suggested pieces done at the regional level, and then pieces done at the district level. So if you're curious, it's an interesting read. And I think what was really encouraging for us as a district was that several of the pillars that are in here, whether it's high quality instructional materials, that's one of the 5 pillars. So essentially making sure that we've got quality research aligned math curriculum materials in front of all of our students. We do. We undertook that work several years ago, so we're definitely ahead of the game there. Another one of the pillars is research and evidence-based math teaching practices. That's another area that we've been doing some work over the last 2 years using the National Council of Teachers of Mathematics, or NCTM. They have a book that essentially kind of outlines what decades worth of research says about effective math teaching, so we've been diving into that. And so we feel pretty good about some of the things that we've been doing in terms of math in our district. Not that we don't have a lot of work to continue to do. But 2 things that I wanted to mention to you today have to do with some draft legislation as well. And then one that's actually signed into law. So the piece that is already signed into law is the requirement that next year every public school district in Ohio administer a K-3 math diagnostic. So we're already required to administer a reading diagnostic and have been for several years. That's the Acadience. Milton-Union uses Acadience reading. I've talked about some of those scores at these meetings before. But this will be the first time that we're going to be required to administer a math diagnostic. So what that means for us is we're going to have to look at the 5 approved math diagnostic assessment tools that Ohio actually just released today. And decide which of those 5 we're going to use. We don't have the option to not give one, and we don't have the option at this point to use one that's not on that list. So,
Do we have to buy it?
we have to buy it. Yeah. So that K-3 math diagnostic piece, that will be coming. The other piece that I think is that a lot of people are paying a lot of attention to, and I think we are as well, is Senate Bill 19. Which is talks a lot about several different things, but one of the big pieces is math intervention. So it would require, much like we do reading intervention that I was just talking about, so students that are on a reading improvement monitoring plan, or RIMP, this would legally require districts to provide math intervention for students who score limited, which is the lowest category on the state test. So it would, maybe be a required number of minutes per day that we're then intervening or providing math intervention. Just because I was curious, so the legislation talks about students who score limited. Last year, if we used last spring's numbers, if we had to do that intervention, this year we would have been intervening in math in grades 4 through 8 with 145 students at Milton-Union. And at the high school, we would be intervening with 82 students. So that's a total of 227 students that we would have to be providing daily math intervention for if that legislation passes. Not that we shouldn't be helping students who are struggling in math, but just kind of the legal ramifications. The other side is kind of I guess the other end of the achievement spectrum. And it basically requires that if any student taking Math 7 scores accomplished or advanced, so in any of the top 2 levels, that they are automatically placed or scheduled into Algebra 1 as an 8th grader. So that one is, I guess, has less of an impact on Milton-Union. When I went back and did, look at how many of our kids, which of our kids taking algebra this year as 8th graders, they all scored accomplished or advanced. So that one's not going to be nearly as I think, biggest shift for us. We're already essentially doing a pretty good job of placing our students that are 8th graders into Algebra 1 who are ready for it. But the math intervention piece is it's definitely something that we're keeping our eye on, and really trying to wrap our heads around how we would go about implementing that.
Does the bill include any additional funding to pay for intervention specialists?
Not that I'm aware of. Yeah, so you've got the staffing that we would have, there's the assessments that are required to monitor whether or not students are making progress. There are the intervention programs that, those aren't free either. So, yeah.
It's looking like it's gonna make it through.
Yeah, that's why I'm bringing it to your attention. I mean, there's lots of, bills that we hear and learn about, and,
See, I thought it said they're on their 4th iteration.
So there's been no funding piece introduced legislation?
Not that I'm aware of. It's not a budget bill, so.
That's weird.
Is it?
Yeah.
Funded mandate.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to slide the report card and make us look worse.
They love
Yeah.
mandates.
And then they're going to increase our requirements and not decrease our funding.
There's another piece to it too that would require districts to use math curriculums from a state-approved list. All rumors that I'm hearing about that is that essentially the first iteration of the list they would use ed reports, and any set of materials that scored green, which is the highest rating on ed reports, would be approved. There's no guarantee that, that's not in writing, but that's what I'm hearing. And then, again, the good news for us is that stepping stones that we use in our elementary was straight green, as is Carnegie that we use in middle school and high school. So if that piece of it goes through and the ed reports evaluation is correct, then that piece would be good for us. Or at least we would not have, that would not be a problem for us to solve.
Right.
So. All right, what other questions?
I think we're in good shape.
Lots to do.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Anything else? Ed?
Nope, whenever you're ready.
Okay. I'll move on to Treasurer's Report. A, approval of Board of Education minutes, February 17, 2026, regular meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Jesse.
Mrs. Vermont,
Yes.
Dr. Nicholman,
Yes.
Mr. Press.
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Beals?
Yes.
B, approval of Board of Education minutes, February 24th, 2026, special meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Chris?
Yes.
Ms. Brindle?
Yes.
Dr. Hinkleman?
Abstain.
Ms. Price?
Abstain.
And Mr. Diaz?
Yes. C, approval of February financial report. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Do you want to go
Yep.
over?
So the financial report for the month of February, it's hard to see, but I just wanted to touch base a little bit on our general fund balance. What we're seeing up here is we're definitely ahead by about 77,000 on our general fund balance than what we had anticipated. But more importantly, I wanted to note that our general fund revenue, just the variances from fiscal year '24 to our actual to date, is almost $500,000, almost $600,000 difference in our revenue from this time in fiscal year '24 to now. So that's a huge drop in our revenue, almost $600,000. So that's just, wanted to make a point that despite our expenditures, we have reduced our expenditures by $531,000 since fiscal year '24. And despite maintaining a lower expenditure, we're still having those issues because our general fund revenue has just been kind of depleting since in the past 2 fiscal years. So on our budget to actual, you are not going to see any variances on this for the month just because these reflect February forecast numbers that were just approved, so there are no variances. Into that, I did a prior versus current year variance report. So you can see we are up in general property tax revenue. PUP has definitely been up, which has been forecasted. And then our income tax, you definitely see an increase there. However, you are continuing to see that decline in our state aid. So about 15% decline in restricted grants and aid. Our local property tax reimbursements are roughly 5%. And then our other operating revenue is down as well. But again, just to highlight those reductions that were made in the last few years, definitely represented here. We've been maintaining low expenditures. It's just the revenue has continued to kind of decrease, and we just really can't keep up with that at this point. So this just highlights a little bit down in the weeds where our DPIA has been up, our Gifted Foundation funding has gone down, our student wellness has gone down, special ed has gone down. Science and reading, we didn't get that, so that's a $31,000 reduction. We have, most notably, our tuition adjustment is significantly down from just last year, and then Medicaid slightly down for all of those other revenue areas. So definitely seeing those issues with our state aid.
Why is the tuition adjustment down?
Those are just, so that's how much we would have gotten, and it's like we have gotten in the past for students, like ADM numbers from other districts, and then special education, so there's regular and special, and that's just maybe a fluctuation of our ADM. Not to mention the base cost of the student is, like, it costs more and it's not enough. And our cost of inputs are not being increased. So overall, tuition just adjustments.
So then personal services, the variance here is about 3% lower than the prior fiscal year. And then our benefits, again, 3%. And then you just see like there's a large variance for the transition from the PSU contract to the 4-3 line. But overall, just to reiterate, our overall revenue is down 2.3% despite our expenditures also being down. It's this game that we really can't keep up with, our revenue. So despite maintaining lower expenditures this fiscal year, loss in revenue continues to hinder our long-term sustainability. And then just for the month of February, again, the days cash on hand ratio is 91 days cash on hand. Our cash summary report for all of our funds. Our investment summary, no big drop, just slightly in our money market and STAR account. But our MBS has maintained a 3.93. And then we're under on our cash receipts for our lunch room account, so just by about $700. But year to date, we're almost $7,000 on costs for our lunchroom expenses. And then attached is just all of our disbursements for the month of February. Are there any questions?
I don't think so. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Okay. Dr. Hinkleman?
Yes.
Mrs. Brumbaugh?
Yes.
Mr. Kress?
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Diaz?
Yes. 5 other special reports, A, MUEA.
None, thank you.
6, agenda confirmation, A, additions and deletions to the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions?
Yes. On item 8, subject D, Dr. Hinkleman noted that for the assistant coach, it is a baseball coach, so we need to add that it is a baseball coach rather, it just says assistant.
Under the consent calendar.
Yes.
Anything else?
I believe so.
All right. B, approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
Can we have a motion to update or add the
Okay.
addition?
A motion to add baseball to
Subject D, item 8.
item 8
The consent.
of the consent calendar.
Okay.
B, a motion, there, second? Second. Roll call.
Dr. Hinkleman?
Yes.
Mr. Kress?
Yes.
Mrs. Brumbaugh?
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Diaz?
Yes. B, approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Brumbaugh?
Yes.
Dr. Hinkleman?
Yes.
Mr. Kress?
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Diaz?
Yes. 7, old business. Do we have any old business? No. Anybody else have any old business? 8, new business. A, tax year 2026 rates and amounts. Recommend accepting amounts and rates as determined by the Miami County Budget Commission for the year 2026 and authorizing necessary tax levies and certification to the Miami County Auditor per information from the Miami County Auditor. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Hinkleman?
Yes.
Ms. Brumbaugh?
Yes.
Mr. Kress?
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Diaz?
Yes. B, College Credit Plus Edison State. Recommend approval of the memorandum of understanding between Edison State Community College and the Milton-Union Schools to deliver College Credit Plus CCP courses to students in accordance with Chapter 3365 of the Ohio Revised Code and Chapter 333-1 20-65 of the Ohio Administrative Code for the 2026-27 school year. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Greenwald?
Yes.
Dr. Hinkleman?
Yes.
Mr. Kress?
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Diaz?
Yes. C, Transportation Private Schools. The Milton-Union Board of Education, after examination of the existing school bus routes, time schedules, student residence location, school location, and available school conveyances, and upon establishing that the below-named pupils are eligible to receive transportation in accordance with Section 3327.01 of the Ohio Revised Code and State Board Standards EDB 91702, and District Board Policy has declared by Board Resolution that such service by school conveyance is impractical, and hereby agrees to pay the parent or guardian of said pupil in lieu of providing such service an amount which shall not exceed the state average cost to transport pupils in the state the preceding year. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Greenwald?
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Kress?
Yes.
Dr. Hinkleman?
Yes.
Mr. Diaz?
Yes. D, consent calendar. Recommend approval of all matters listed under the consent calendar.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Dr. Hinkleman?
Yes.
Ms. Greenwald?
Yes.
Mr. Kress?
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Diaz?
Yes.
Officially welcome on board.
Nine, other authorizations, resolutions, etc. A, program studies 2026-2027. Recommend adoption of the program of studies for use at Milton-Union Middle School beginning with the 2026-27 school year. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Dr. Hinkleman?
Yes.
Ms. Greenwald?
Yes.
Mr. Kress?
Yes.
Mr. Diaz?
Yes. B, early graduation. Recommend granting diplomas to the following students who have met local and state requirements for early graduation: Connor Miller and Ashley Green. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Greenwald?
Yes.
Dr. Hinkleman?
Yes.
Mr. Kress?
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Diaz?
Yes. C, BOE policy update. Recommend adoption of the following Board of Education policy changes for use throughout the Milton-Union Exempted Village School District. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Dr. Hinkleman?
Yes.
Ms. Price?
Yes.
Mrs. Greenwald?
Yes.
Mr. Kress?
Yes.
Mr. Diaz?
Yes. 10, board reports. A, legislative and student achievement. Linda?
Yeah, DeWine gave his last State of the State address and basically he said he wants a continued focus and expansion on the science of reading program. Outlined some different ways they hope to, continue focusing on that. The other interesting thing he put out is they're going to launch a statewide attendance dashboard where you can look at real-time attendance data for all schools, like week to week. They're kicking around tons of different things right now that could affect this. One that DeWine mentioned in the State of the State is he really wants a bill, House Bill 304, that would double recess from 30 minutes to 60 minutes for K through 8 for all students. So I'm not sure how that would impact like our learning hours of the year, and it would be interesting if it moves forward. In various ways, they're debating prohibiting NIL, so I think that'll be a debate over the next year. I'd had mention of mapping. They're also considering adding a middle school career exploration course requirement. I'm sure without funding. That's it.
Okay, thank you. B, policy update. Myself and Julian, obviously, we just adopted some revisions and replacements of some policies that existed. Well, there's one new one. But if you have any questions or concerns, read them. And,
Like a third of them are about credit card points.
yeah, I know.
That's funny.
It's amazing what you have to have a policy on. C, building and transportation, myself and Justin. Do you have anything, Justin? Do you have anything? Because I really don't. That's a good thing. D, MVCTC, Jim Allball. Dr. Ritchie put his minutes on the agenda, so you can review those, peruse those at your leisure. E, Milton-Union Education Foundation, Jess.
Well, we had an exciting weekend this Saturday. We had the Bulldog Bash. We had, I would say, a decent turnout, not the best turnout. I think we had a good number. We did raise money, which was nice. There was not an art show this year, so I don't know if that led to a decrease in numbers, but it was still a lot of fun. People enjoyed eating breakfast, catching pancakes, dropping them, playing games everywhere. It was a great time. We did have a profit, and we will be able to give a scholarship with the amount of money that we made to at least one senior boy or girl, which leads me to our next thing. We have our Bulldog Golf Classic on Friday, June 9th. And so hopefully we will get a lot of teams join to come golf, and so we can give away more scholarships to seniors and also classroom grants. So lots of good things happening. A busy time. So this is the busy time to be on the Ed Foundation.
Yeah, it is. I remember that.
But it's all good.
I'm glad
So-
you're repping the board there.
Uh,
Okay, do you know how many scholarships are going to be given out this year?
Depends how much money we make
Oh,
with the
With
Golf Classic.
Golf
But I just mean with the pancake breakfast, with what we brought in.
good.
You know, it's one scholarship right there.
It's more of a outreach as opposed to much of a fundraiser.
Right, yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
we covered our costs, and depending upon the size of the scholarship this year, I mean, at least one, maybe 1.5, maybe 2, but we're still waiting on final, net profit. But yeah, attendance was down a little bit, but it was a steady crowd.
Good.
So,
And I'm just gonna throw a thing out there, if anybody's listening, for seniors, the Ed Foundation Scholarship is due April 3rd. So it's important to get your kid to fill out that application and get that money.
Absolutely. All right. Moving on, F, Audit Finance Representative, Justin and Julian, do you have anything?
I do not.
Good? Okay.
Just, we had more good news earlier on the finance front.
Yeah. Seems to be routine now, so. Okay, G, Facility Complex Committee, that's myself, but I don't really have anything. Do you have anything to add? That's usually a good thing, because usually it involves something costly. All right. What are you laughing at?
you're not wrong.
All right, A, BOE, or 11 information and discussion items. A, BOE policy update, first reading. The following revision to the Board of Education policy is being considered for use throughout the Milton-Union schools. 8,500 food service operations, and it's a revision. B, general information updates. A, we don't have any general information updates.
I don't have any.
I wanted I had a question about graduation with the conflict with track. I'm guessing track districts is the night of our graduation. Yes, because this is the first year they changed the schedule. It used to always be Saturday, so I didn't even realize it, but now it's Friday night. I'm guessing it's too late to move this year.
I don't know. I think that's something that we should talk about internally to see if it can be done.
At least, like, going forward, I think it might stay that way. So, you
The
know,
track will stay on.
on the Friday
Friday.
night. If they stick with this new, and it's not just like the decision to miss the one meet, it's the decision to end your season.
Right.
Something to think about.
Graduation was set a long time ago, I'm assuming.
I mean, that predates me. I mean, that's probably been a forever thing.
Yeah.
But
But that's in our school calendar.
it is. We would have to do enough.
Negotiated.
That's a,
I guess the date of the graduation wouldn't make a difference.
no. I just need to go back and look at the one that we approved for next year to make sure that that's a simple swap of that and nothing else. But Dr. Hinkleman, we can talk about that internally to see if there's anything we can do to reschedule graduation. If by solving one problem, we create 10 other
That's
ones.
what I figured. At this point, you might have like 8 other people that if you move it, say, this is my graduation party.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm thinking, is people schedule stuff.
But certainly, I hope we won't make it like a reoccurring every year kind of thing.
What time is the districts that you're at?
It's like
Is it
6:30 p.m.
I coach track at Greenville, and the district meets take a long time. It's like an all-night kind of thing. Like
And it used to always be Thursday,
always
Saturday,
full.
and now we're on a Wednesday,
It
Friday.
is. Them gems.
We'll check it out. I'll get back with the board based on what I find.
All right. Anything else? Okay, moving on, 12 board announcements, upcoming meetings. So we got the district advisory committee meeting Thursday, March 26, 2026 at the media center at 6 p.m. And then regular board meeting Monday, April 20th, 2026, 6 p.m. in the board conference room. 13, executive session. Recommend approval to adjourn to executive session for purposes authorized under Board of Education Policy 0166 and ORC 121.22G1 to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, and compensation of an employee or official, ORC 121.22G4, to prepare for, conduct, or review negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees concerning compensation or other terms/conditions of employment, and ORC 121.22G5 for a matter required to be kept confidential by federal law or rules or state statutes. There will be no action taken after the board exits executive session. Invitees will be Dr. Ritchie, Ms. Solomon,
Mrs. Hartley and Mr. Brackman.
all right. Thank you all for coming. Again, we know business undertaken after the meeting. I guess we need a motion and a second and a roll call. We have a motion.
So move.
second.
Roll call, please.
Dr. Movlin,
Yes.
Mr. Chris,
Yes.
Ms. Rudolph,
Yes.
Ms. Price,
Yes.
Mr. Diaz.
Yes.